Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, the place that we're everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Sabrina
Hi.
and Lance.
What's goody, folks?
And we are here to talk about Total Drama Island, episodes 7 and 8. If you have not been following, Sabrina and Lance have been watching Total Drama Island for the first time ever, and we've been going 2 episodes at a time and talking about each one of them on a podcast. So this is our first time doing it live, experimenting, but I mean, why not? So before we get started, what are your opinions on 7 and 8 and the series as a whole, episodes and guys?
I feel like these last 2 episodes weren't super exciting compared to the last few ones that we watched. Still necessary, but I don't know. They're okay.
Yeah, I feel like these episodes wasn't, this is definitely a dud week for us, but it also showed a lot of character, new character development and finalized characterization of some people.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
All right. Did your opinions on some characters drop or raise out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, they got some people that's gonna be making some ramps. We was giving them another chance, and after this week, we'll be sitting in D tier, baby. Get ready.
But there was something that went up for me, so.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, let's just get into these episodes. So, we start off episode 7, and Sadie is still crying because Katie got voted out. Usually they go into the next day, but this was a continuation of the same night, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And we actually see what the players are like after a vote out ceremony, and they were just kind of I don't know, they were just kind of chill. They were okay, I don't really care. But the other team, the Gophers, they came over and they were just kind of oh yeah, Owen stuck up our house while we were celebrating, so can we hang out with you guys? And we find out that I mean, long story short, it's a phobia challenge, right? Because it all starts from Beth offering Jello and had a gummy worm in it, and I think DJ kind of slapped it away. It was so everyone starts talking about it. What's up, Lamp?
No, and Courtney also had something to say. That's just kind of slipped with her slight phobia at that point with the Jello and the Jello and the worm. And then all of a sudden, just was a downward spiral of everyone saying what their phobias was, and they immediately used that against them in the challenge.
Yeah, immediately.
Now, were there any phobias of people that you guys were what the heck, or I don't know?
The Celine Dion cardboard cutout. That was so great.
What was DJ's phobia? Because wasn't it something very soft and mellow, something soft?
Snakes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I was expecting him to be his to be something soft and supple, something I'm afraid of fluffy pillows or something.
Yeah, you're marshmallows. Yeah, something like that. I feel like it's half of them were super normal, snakes, bugs, whatever. And then some of them were just so off the wall weird, the green jelly thing, and the Celine Dion cardboard cutout, and mimes. Those are just some really strange ones.
Yeah, because we had Owen, who's scared to fly in a plane, which is understandable. He's a bigger guy. That's normal. Some people are very scared of that kind of stuff. And some people's stuff was very normal, and some people's stuff was very okay, you're scared of that.
Yeah.
Because Tyler being scared of chickens.
Because with Gwen being scared to be buried alive, I don't want to get buried alive either.
That's a little fear for sure.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Courtney being scared of Jello, Tyler being scared of chickens. I guess who was being chased? It was Lashana. She was scared of spiders, but it was literally just Chef wearing a spider costume.
Chef is an icon. I would say Chef brings it every episode.
Yes.
It's just man.
I just love how he doesn't say one word, but he's hilarious to me. Whenever he was in flight attendant costume.
Oh my god!
I was yes.
And of course I was living for that, being a flight attendant myself.
Seeing
him in his little feminine flight attendant outfit was so freaking funny to me.
The little wig and everything. I was oh, that Lance.
Chef is a mess.
So
So good.
there was some interesting stuff, but so basically they don't know that they're being watched, but what happens is the next day basically Chris is like messing with everybody while they're eating, and he's like, yeah, we know your fears now. So what we're about to do is a fear factor type challenge, basically where they have to face their phobias and all that stuff. So you know, it was like, okay. Basically whatever team faced their fears the most would win the challenge, and the one who doesn't goes home. I mean, you know, it's pretty simple. So I mean, we kind of do like a quick montage of a lot of these things, so we're not going to go into too much detail. We're going to really just focus on the ones that like really like had some kind of importance. But it was like Beth being scared to be covered by bugs, and then she just got over it very quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see, like you said, Owen, he has to get in a plane with Izzy, and you know, they're doing barrels and all stuff. So that was actually kind of like scary for I would be scared
the cheat on plane too. I was like, oh my god.
And that plane was a trashy plane. That plane was not nothing that even me as a flight attendant would want to get on. Right. Because baby.
No.
Literally, what Sadie and Lindsay's were afraid of haircuts, bad haircuts.
Yeah, bad haircuts.
That was so funny because
they were gonna actually cut their hair. I was like, oh no.
But that's what I thought too.
Yeah, I could do it.
I thought that too. So when they put that little like mullet wig on,
I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What was it? Harold was afraid of ninjas. So. All right.
Whenever he pulled out the nunchucks, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's gonna do something. And then I was like, oh, never mind.
Let's see. Heather was afraid of sumo wrestlers, where a little interesting thing, they don't really touch up about this too much, but there's a theory that the reason Heather's so mean is like she was possibly like one of those like big girls in like high school or whatever that used to get made fun of. So like now that she's like a little bit like older and like, you know, her like that's where she gets all that from. So that's a theory, that a fan theory out there.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Bridget, her fear was actually a little bit like I would be a little afraid about this too. So she had to stay in the woods for like what? I think it was an hour.
6 hours.
6 hours. That
alone.
No, that's dead. Gwen's, like you guys said, buried alive. That's boy. Now Trent offered to stick with her and give her a walkie-talkie. He said, I'll dig you out as soon as it's over. But we'll revisit that. Let's see. DJ had to touch a baby snake. So I mean, okay. So let's get back into Gwen, right? So obviously buried alive. She's almost done with her entire task. First of all, the whole air thing, I would have been freaking out by itself. But when he's about to get ready to dig her up, a mime comes, and I guess that's Trent's fear, and it starts chasing around. But how did you feel about that little segment with Trent and the mime and stuff?
So weird. Like the first thing I thought of with the mime was that episode from Powerpuff Girls when there was like the evil mime and they took away all the color from the city.
Yes.
That was like literally the first thing I thought of, like that super evil mime. So I was just like, oh. But this mime was nice. I don't know. I don't think he was evil. I felt kind of bad for him.
Yeah, and he just was like Trent's whole like trajectory, that whole segment of his episode with the mime, just made me think like, what actually was so scary about it? He was like, you and your quietness and stop making a wall. And it was just so funny, but it was also good for us to finally, because I feel like that's what we've been missing, right, Sap, is a little bit from Trent. So I was happy to get a little something from him. He definitely, you know, we knew him as his like love interest with Gwen, et cetera, but like to build his individuality was really good for me to see as I watched this episode.
Yeah, it's definitely been like it's almost like the girls have been getting more character development than the guys have been. Because a lot of the guys have been seeming, like you said, more just like a love interest for these girls, and so it has been nice to kind of slowly get to that with the guys as well. So definitely a good part of the episode for sure.
So another fear. Well, real quick before we move on, I thought Trent was funny when he jumped in the water and he was like, "You can't jump in your makeup or run." So I mean, I guess what Jeff was afraid of hail, which all right, that's fine. And like Chris was using some weather machine to like bury him or
And
whatever.
how does he get over that fear?
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
I know.
So that was like an auto point for them, because it's like you don't really get over that fear. You just the hail just stops.
Yeah,
like,
as long as you weather it for a little bit of time, a predetermined time, I guess. So that's why I say some of these fears were like very weird to say you could get a point for it, and others like, because for me the hair thing was BS. Like, oh, I put a wig on. Like, I could have said I'm so scared to cut my beard off and let them cut my beard off and put got a point. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Now, actually, just to touch up on that, so you can't afford to get spiders for Lashana, but you could put Chef in like a costume, but you can get this robot-controlled hail cloud. Like, I was like,
right.
Okay. So
Trent, it's rigged.
Oh, yes.
We all know this show is rigged. We know who they want to win already.
So Trent realizes that it's been like an hour since Gwen was supposed to get dug up, and he goes to go get her. So boy, I want to kill somebody if they left me on the ground that long. So Cody has to stop a bomb and just like, okay, I mean that's not really a fear. That's like some real life stuff. But okay.
Wasn't it like a garbage bomb or something?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was like, that's like some 007 Mission Impossible type shit. Like, oh, if I don't do this, it's gonna blow up the whole like camp. Like, no one's gonna finish this season. I was like, that is a legit. Like, I think if anybody could put 30 seconds on the clock or 30 minutes on the clock and have to defuse a bomb, we would all be fucking scared.
Exactly. And let's see, the last person before we get to Courtney was Trent. Tyler. All right, oof. Tyler, and he was afraid of chickens and he couldn't beat his fear. So okay, I mean it was like sleeping chicken with like eggs, and he was scared.
And his was so simple, because think about it. So do you think he would have freaked out if he would have got the chicken hat episode 1? Since he's so afraid of chickens, how do you think that would have went?
I didn't even think about that.
So when he said his fear was chickens, I was expecting to see them just stick one of those chicken hats on him and he like spaz out. But they actually got chickens, but it wasn't even no aggressive chickens. So I'm like, Tyler, like, you first of all don't have no character development. You don't really have no like alliances. You don't have no like say in this game. You need to do everything it takes to make it to the next round. And I feel like by him being one of the ones to flake out, if his team loses, he definitely could be on the chopping block.
So lastly, and Bridget doesn't finish hers because Cody didn't get the bomb right. It blew up, and then he looked like a monster and scared her. Okay. So lastly, they thought it looked like the killer bass had no chance of winning, because it looked like 7 people from the Gophers actually did their task, while only 3 of them did. So realistically, they should have lost. But you know what? Chris is like, you know what? I'm a TV producer, ratings. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an auto win if Courtney does her fear, because she, like Lance said earlier, she was scared of the Jello, and they figured out that was her fear. But it was a little extreme. She had to jump off of like this large, like what would you say, like a platform or something,
like a diving board, right?
Yeah. And she had to jump into a pool of Jello. I wouldn't do that either. That's crazy.
I think I would.
You would?
Yeah. I like.
If I was gonna die, then maybe.
Yeah, and not to say they wasn't gonna kill them.
You think Jello's gonna save your fall?
Yeah, definitely. It looked like a lot of Jello.
You know what? If she can jump off a cliff, she can jump off that. Yeah,
well,
you're right.
She didn't jump off the cliff. Remember, she did not. She had the chicken hat. So I understood. So they added elements to me to make sure that she don't do it. She was scared to jump off a cliff. Now she's scared. Now she's scared of Jello. Now she's scared of Jello, and it's another cliff-like thing.
Yeah. That's kind of dirty. Yeah.
It's a wrap. Production is trying to F my girl Courtney's game up, but it's okay. I feel that she will prevail in the long run because she's a strategic mastermind.
her little reaction, like I felt so bad for her. She was so upset, especially and you saw Duncan because I think we missed his, but the Celine Dion thing, like she helped him be his fair. I guess he was trying to like help her out too, like give her confidence. But she's like, I can't do it.
I was kind of surprised that she didn't, because she was so like, she helped everybody else do it, and she was like very vocal and be like, you can do it, like if you need help I'm here, and then she just didn't even like, not to say she didn't try, but like she like almost just kind of gave up immediately. She was just like, okay, no, I can't, done. And I was just like, what? Like, I just didn't think that's in her personality like that, so that was kind of strange for me.
Now real quick, I thought it was funny where Owen was like sitting in the pool of Jello by himself. It was like such a weirdo.
But Owen finds some way to elevate himself every episode.
Love it.
So we're at the ceremony, and naturally, it went by challenge performance, and it was Tyler, Bridget, and Courtney in the bottom three. They got the most votes. Now it looked like it was between Courtney and Tyler for the most part, but they ultimately sent Tyler home. Do you guys think this was the correct decision from the team?
D tier.
Okay, yes, but at the same time, because of how they played everything, I was kind of shocked that it wasn't Courtney because of her not costing them challenge, but like she could have won the challenge if she did it. So that's like logically, I was like, okay, maybe she might go home. But knowing her backstory and knowing how she's done previously with her strategy, I was like, there's no way these people who make this show are gonna let her go now.
Yeah, and even aside from the producers doing that, I feel like she has concreted herself with enough people to know, like, she might have effed up, but Courtney is good for my game. Courtney is a sound mind for me. Courtney is someone who can help me throughout this game. Whereas Tyler, he was definitely just going with the flow, floating through. And then you did your task was one of the simpler ones, and you couldn't even do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotta go. Honestly, based on like Bridget's longevity, I'm surprised that she wasn't one of the ones going home too. Because like for me, she hasn't really like stood out for me. So if she would have went this episode, I would have been okay. It really would have, really would have crushed me if they wouldn't have gave Courtney a marshmallow this episode, and I would have been devastated.
It's funny to me because the people who are like literally like actually writing and creating this show like in real life, like there's even Edgic in this damn show. Like we knew Courtney wasn't gonna go home. Like
it's crazy.
What is this? Like were they actually know like how to?
But and you remember when we talked about last week? It was like honestly, we ready for a blind side. I thought this was gonna be it a little bit.
It could have been,
and I would have cried.
That would have sucked actually.
I would have cried because I feel Courtney have so much more to give, especially if they get to. I'm not sure if it has an individual stage, but I'm pretty sure eventually.
It's gotta be.
I see Courtney being a beast in the individual stage of the game.
I do too.
Okay.
And then I did feel bad for Tyler though on the boat because that was the first time we really saw somebody on the boat like upset. The fact that he started crying actually was like kind of sad for him. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
On the boat of chickens.
But then chickens.
I will say they completely took the Lindsay and Tyler storyline. They're just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, they were just like, we're done with it. Goodbye.
And that's why I also thought it would. That's why I thought it was gonna be Bridget because I feel like I thought it was gonna be like, okay, well, when they gave Bridget her thing, then it would be like, oh no, some crazy twist because we still had a Lindsay and Tyler storyline that was growing. Yeah. So that shocked the heck out of me that it was even between Courtney and Tyler.
Even in the confessional, she was like, bye, Taylor. And Tyler. I'm like, ooh, not that. So you see how important that was. Yeah. So that's episode 8. On a scale of like 1 to 10, how you rate episode 7?
6.
I say I'm 5 or 4.
It was nothing special. Like I did like how it was a little more individualized for everybody because we got to see all of their fears and stuff. So that was interesting. But other than that, I was kind of like, Yeah,
it was like, okay, where's next episode?
Right.
Well, let's get into it. Next episode was episode 8. And they jump right into the challenge. And it's an interesting one, I guess. Basically, Chris is sending them on an island called Bony Island. Basically, it's a quote-unquote cursed island. And what he wants them to do is go there, make a huge fire, and then come back. And the first team to do all of that will win the challenge. They all have to canoe there. So, in pairs. So I mean, it's a okay. I mean, is it really a challenge? I mean, they're I guess running out of ideas. So
the kind of thing that confuses me is why challenges have two elements. It's like, okay, will the grand all be the fire, or will the grand all just be making it back? So it's like weird. It's like, okay, well, do I just do a little bit of fire and just hurry and head back? But then it was like, okay, they win the fire, but then somebody else could possibly win the race.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's weird for me.
That was weird. I was kind of confused too. It's like what was supposed to be going on.
But we do see a lot of dynamic. We do see a lot of dynamic with this whole, like, you know, the pair off thing. Like, we see who get paired off, and then also we see someone like Beth build a character line. We've been asking for, so we'll see.
They should have made the fire like a reward or something like that. Reward incentive,
or like a faster boat. Or something. Yeah.
That'd have been really good.
So we're seeing everyone get duos together, right? We're only going to talk about the important ones because like a lot of them are just random. So Jeff was like waving at Bridget, but you know, Courtney was like, "I'll be your partner," and she's like, "Okay, cool." So you know, Jeff is still trying to pick up Bridget to this day, and you know, okay. And then we see Gwen is trying to go with Trent, but then Cody comes in and basically is like, "Yeah, you're my partner," and Beth and Lindsay go for Trent instead. So with these interactions, I guess we're starting to see some sort of chemistry relationship wise with you know, an awkward one with Bridget and Jeff, and then Trent and Gwen here, and then eventually Courtney and Duncan, but that wasn't really explored too much this episode. But how do you guys feel about like all these showmances that are starting to develop in the show?
I feel like it's definitely a nod to obviously other reality shows and sometimes Survivor, and you know, I think the pair-ups are definitely very interesting. I actually really enjoyed Cody and Gwen together, because at first obviously it was just like, oh, this is an annoying weird kid like trying to like, you know, get with her, and she's like not having any of it. But as the episode went along, and how like the way he like took the rejection was actually like really cool. Like he was like super chill, was like, I'm gonna actually help you guys out. Like he wasn't like trying to be like vindictive or like get back at Gwen or like try and mess up Trent. Like he was just like, okay, well, I know you guys like each other and that's cool, so all right, let me help you. Like you don't really see that very often.
Yeah, and that's the thing that like confused me with everything. I really saw people like, you know, showcasing themselves with the whole like pairs up, and then also like, you know, the possible love interest, but then like, ooh, I don't want to be too coy about it. It was really interesting, and then also, you know, it also could show people's strengths, some people's weaknesses, and how they pair up could also lead to like who could possibly like work together in the future. And also like as they're getting paired up, we see that you know, we didn't really talk about this, but Beth was in the restroom when he was giving directions. And those directions were very vital, because he was like, make sure you don't take anything from the island. And she was the only person that missed the instructions, and we'll see if that is a big play in this challenge or in the future.
You know, Chris did that on purpose too. Like, he don't care.
He's like, drama.
Now a fun part was seeing Heather being stuck with Owen. I thought that was going to be funny too. But DJ, we see a little confessional. So he has a fear of water. He has a lot of fears, I guess.
Yes, he does.
But I guess he doesn't know how to swim. So you know, that was interesting. But you know, Jeff is like, I want to help you through this. You're my bro. So I guess we're seeing Jeff and DJ grow in their friendship this episode. So Cody. So there's a lot of interactions on the way to the island. So first of all, Cody and Gwen. Cody nonstop is trying to pick up Gwen. And she's like, no. Let's see. We see Lindsay's being Lindsay, Beth's being Beth. You know, they're just being ditzy. But Bridget and Jeff, so so Bridget starts talking to Courtney, saying that Jeff gave her a macaroni craft art like type of picture. It was literally like a picture of Bridget scratched and then placed in front of DJ with him, and it was very weird. But and he was saying that what was it? I'm trying to think. What Jeff said something very corny to why he gave.
You'll think of me whenever you put your loose change. And
oh yeah, I was like, what are you doing? But
it's like in retrospect, like if I feel like when I was younger and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish a guy would do something cute like that for me. It's so endearing, whatever. But when it's a guy that you are not interested in who does that for you, it's creepy and weird.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Hey Arnold when Helga had the shrine of Arnold.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was like, girl, you go too far.
It's like it's really strange because if you're into the guy, like I've noticed my
it's cute. It's cute.
Personal life, it's cute, yeah, and you make it cute because you like that person. But then like when you're not sure about the person or you don't like them at all, then it's like, whoa, like this is really weird.
It's
like
creepy. It comes across creepy.
It does. It totally does.
Yeah.
So I get respect.
So let's see. They get to the island finally. Izzy is by the way, on the way there, Izzy's being very weird, talking about like all her expeditions and stuff. Izzy's a character. She's a psycho. But we finally get to the island, and we see the campers are trying to make their way to the other side of the island so they can do the fire like we spoke about. And they have a lot of obstacles here. Let's see, there's like woolly beavers.
Yep.
There's bears. There's like these Canadian
cranes.
Yeah.
The weird cranes.
Yeah. And, there was also quicksand too. There was quicksand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot going on there. Trent almost got sunk. Lindsay almost got sunk too because she followed Trent trying to help him when he's like, no.
But who saved the day? Who saved the day?
Cody by accident.
The Cody that we've been writing off for 8 episodes now. The Cody is definitely showing that Cody is. Hey, Cody, I would just say, Cody, you're doing it.
He's doing better.
He's definitely stepping his game up, stepping his cookies up, and I definitely wrote him off early on. He's definitely still not top tier for me, but he's definitely moving up the ranks, and I'm proud of him.
I think this episode was good for him socially.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like Sabrina spoke about, he gets rejected by Gwen again, but he's like, all right, like I can tell that you're into Trent. He's like, I can talk to him if you want, but you gotta do something for me. And he made some. Now he's creepy, like we said. Like he made a bet with Owen that he can get Gwen's bra or whatever. All right.
And this is a children's show.
And that's the same thing I say, from the showmances to the bra to this. I'm like 16-year-olds. Okay.
Yeah.
But Gwen doesn't agree to it, but she never says no to Cody helping her get Trent. So. Now, before we go to the other team, I might as well just finish the Cody storyline off. He basically puts in a good word for Gwen with Trent, saying, "Oh, like she likes you. You could tell," and so he keeps his end of the deal. He's helping those two out. So like you said, Cody's finally getting that edit that he's been desperately needing.
He also had a moment with Lindsay, like when he saved them from the quicksand, and she was like, "My knight in shining."
Yeah.
Now that Tyler's gone, right? Like,
let me find out Cody's about to be in a showmance, baby.
So this is really funny to me. Jeff gets injured. And his injury is like a small splinter, but okay.
Jeff with a G. That's Jeff with that's typical Jeff with a G for me. Jeff with a G.
First got the splinter, you couldn't see it, and then like 2 scenes later, it was like sticking out of his leg.
Yes. I was like, what is going on? Like, and DJ was so nice. DJ trying to save him and protect him and carry him. But I'm like, Jeff with a G. Now it's time for you to pack your damn bags. I'm over him.
Don't forget when he was trying to drag himself to put firewood in the.
Oh my gosh,
Jeff is dramatic. It's a mess.
But the worst part is everyone's falling for this crap. Like Bridget's like, "Oh, you're badly wounded." I'm like, "Yo."
Everybody was like feeling bad.
Like, yo.
Like his leg is about to get amputated or something. Like I was so confused.
So with the firewood, I mean Duncan, can you really call it cheating? I mean, he used his lighter, but Chris never said you couldn't do that, so okay.
That's what
Chris literally said, "We'll roll against it."
Chris doesn't care. But what happens is Izzy, what she does is she makes a homemade fire starter bomb with like honey and sticks.
She's a beast. She's a beast.
She's fine. So she throws in the fire, explosion. She got the bigger fire. Their team has won, whatever that was, but
didn't even matter. But it was like an iconic moment. It literally blew up the whole island. And that just signaled for them to get their ass back to the other island. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That was weird.
Now, the other team has a head start. They're on their way back now, but the issue is the Killer Bass also have finished their side before the other team. But what happens is they need to keep putting their fire up, and freaking Harold grabs all the canoe paddles and throws them in the fire. I don't know what he was thinking there, but I'm like, okay, like how are you guys gonna get back now? So they come up with a plan because Izzy, mistake here, speaks too much, and she's like, all right, like if I was in your situation, I would just put all the canoes on one like stack, and then just one person push it, and then they're all looking at Izzy like, what are you doing?
I love Izzy's story when she was like, yeah, so I was on a 30-foot yacht, and like 4 of us got eaten by sharks, but not me. Not me.
She's crazy. I was like, okay.
She's so crazy. I can't.
Now, basically, they need someone they're going to follow through with what Izzy said while the other team's trying to hurry back, but they need someone who can swim. Jeff is like the only one who's going to do it, but he has this injury. So, DJ is like, you know what?
Marshmallow.
He throws them all on, and then he swims for the first time perfectly across a lake and gets the whole team there first. So
DJ.
Now, right before we go to the tribal, Lashana is blaming Izzy for their loss. So I'm like, ooh. So I mean, it's interesting because I mean she was responsible for the fire,
right?
But she was responsible for the loss. So
that's what I'm saying. It's so weird to me that they don't get no type of recognition for that amazing fire that Izzy concocted. And Lashana was like, baby. I guess she thought her back was against the wall. She was like, time for you to go, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to the vote, and it looks like it's between Cody and Izzy, which is kind of interesting because I feel like they've done the most between the entire team that challenge. But this is more like a strategy thing. Like I don't think a lot of people like those still. But we go to the vote, and before the vote is revealed, Izzy is being chased by the Canadian Mounted Police, basically, because she's a wanted criminal, and then she just runs off the island.
That is weird. So, do y'all think that Izzy was the one that was going to go home?
See, judging by Lashana and them,
I think so. Also,
yeah. Like, even friendship-wise, I mean, it felt like she didn't have as many friends. Like, she did that favor for Gwen and Trent, and I'm just like, maybe,
I just loved, I feel like Izzy went from, here to here in the episode. Like, it just came out of nowhere, and I was like,
literally,
girl. Like, I loved it, but, I was so confused. I was like, what?
That's why I say I was so disappointed with her exit.
Yes.
So I'm like, dang, I felt so much more from you, girl.
I wanted to see,
after you make it through this episode, how you backtrack and how you handle that. So to see her, get freaking escorted by the freaking police or chased down by the police was like, bruh.
I wish we saw who got voted out, but we'll see. Now, the last thing we get to see, there's actually 3 things. So the first thing is, I guess, Cody sees a broad or his thing, and he shows it to Owen, whatever. So Gwen, she's like, she kept her end of the deal. So Cody gets to brag to Owen, and then Gwen and Trent get to bond, and so they're growing a relationship. But the second thing that we did see was Bridget reconsidering Jeff's gift. So, we might see something with that in the future. But the last thing and the most important thing was Beth. She has a tiki idol from Bony Island. Because like we said, she did not get the warning not to bring anything back. So that's her good luck charm. So
good luck charm, all right.
What do you think is going to happen with that?
Honestly, I think Beth literally... I don't think she's out next. I think it's going to cause all kind of turmoil within the next 2 episodes. If she makes it through those 2 episodes, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
But, we just was saying, like, Beth needs to step it up or we move her out of C tier. I don't know. Like, it make us so weary to even do anything better for her because she did that trajectory help. But at the same time, it's like, that's not lucky. We know it as we watch it. Yeah. Like, it's not lucky. So I don't see good things coming for Beth with that. Tiki.
All right. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate episode 8?
Definitely better. I would say like a good 7 for me.
I'm going to go with 6. I'm going to stay kind of even because I feel like the challenge part was more fun last episode, but the character development was more fun this episode.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So, those are episodes 7 to 8. Now we get to move to the tier list.
Tier list.
We need a song for that. I'm dead. So, this is your guys' rankings from last week. Let's see. So, Tyler, D tier.
Bye, Tyler.
Yes, we still safe with D tier, and we got our first. We got our first X. Yeah.
Darn.
Dang.
Actually, no. Justin was C tier for you guys too.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yes.
I thought we did all D tier. You tripping? We're gonna have to check that
Justin
out.
Check it. Justin was C tier for you. I think you guys were like, if he doesn't do anything impressive, one more episode, they were dropping him, but it was too late.
Well, so far we got 2 C tiers and all the rest D. Me and Sam are doing really good to say we never saw this show.
Yeah.
Now, let me see how many people are left. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 15, final 15. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
we need a double eviction.
Right.
Now, do you guys feel like there's any more like not like fodderized type players here, or do you think that
Jeff
there's so
with a G? Jeff with a G. Bleh.
How about everyone else?
Lashana is not really doing it for me either. Sadie, I thought this was gonna be her breakout episode. She didn't. Bridget didn't do it. I'm just so disappointed in my whole D tier, except for Cody.
And let's see how you guys rank them first.
Okay.
Let's see how you rank. So Owen, let's see. Episode 7, conquered his fight fear. Episode 8, I mean, he wasn't really the main focus, but I mean, he did the challenge.
He always has a moment though in every episode, and that's what keeps him there because no matter if he's not the focal point of the episode, he does something to be like, ha 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 ha. From the Jello to what did he do in the other episode? Like
when he held the bra up and it was like this tiny on his chest.
Yeah, it's like it's silly stuff. So for me, I say he stayed. What about you, Sab?
I like him there because he brings like the wholesome entertainment to the show. Mm-hmm. Like it's never anything that's like super like off the bat or like super raunchy. It's always something that's like, I don't know, it's just fun. It's cute. I like him.
I thought it was funny that he was paired up with Heather and like he carried the boat or like he was the only one rowing because he was so big and Heather was like in the air. Like okay, so you guys are keeping him S, so he's the only one to stay superior.
Interesting.
So Gwen, not much no. So episode 7, buried alive. I mean, she conquered her fear. But it was more so her building a more rapport with Trent. And then episode 8, it was also episode 8 she developed not only more rapport with Trent, and it seems like they really both like each other. They both know it now, but she's gaining a friendship with Cody too.
Yeah.
So, that's what's going on for Gwen. I mean, she's making more friends now. But how do you guys feel about her?
She is definitely making the social connections that I didn't expect her to make. Because when she came on this island, and even the last few episodes, she was like, "I hate everybody," blah blah blah. But now she's making connections, and she's like getting to these people, and I think that's gonna help her in the long run for sure. I think she's gonna be a lot more open to people in the future.
For me, like Sabrina always liked the Gwen from the beginning, but it has been a growing method for me. And she brings it for me every episode now. Like I've really seen her transition from episode 1 to 8. And even in these last 2 episodes, we just saw how she hated everybody. And now she's slowly making those connections and opening herself up, showcasing her love interest, and just dealing. It was always something that was keeping her from S, but she deserves it at least for a week.
Yeah, I think she seems like she's one of the more like even keeled players. To where like I think she'll keep her cool if something like goes wrong. So like I could.
So you raising her up?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool. Gwen is behind Owen now. All right. Next is Courtney. Now let's see. She helped Duncan beat his fear, but she did not beat hers. But episode 8, she didn't really have a big episode. Episode 8, honestly, she was more so building a friendship with Bridget that I didn't see before until like now. Like even rewatching, I was like, oh okay, like I didn't know they were close. But how do you guys feel about Courtney?
I love Courtney, but I just think that she's getting into sticky territory. I feel like I don't see her going home in the next 2 episodes, but I eventually see if she don't pick it up and be no holds barred, ready to do every challenge that comes her way, people are going to get tired of it, and people are not going to want them on her team. And eventually, she's not going to gain enough votes to get a marshmallow. So me personally, I love my girl, but I think she needs to move to B. But Sabrina, what's your thoughts?
So with Courtney, I feel like she's still playing the team leader role. Like she's like the main voice of like helping people, like especially with the fear challenge, like getting them to get past their fear and to keep going. I think she's a very analytical and strategic player, but I think she lets emotions get the best of her, and that's why she wasn't able to do the couple of challenges, like her fear and jumping off the cliff and all that stuff. So I feel like and I think too, whenever she was in the bathroom doing her confessional, when she was like slapping herself, like trying to get herself under control, like she wasn't like holding it. She was like kind of losing it. So like I personally, based off of her strategic gameplay, I think she still should be A.
Okay.
Because I think it could go either way. I think it could be a blindside, or it could be she goes all the way.
Okay.
I think it's one of the two.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right, so if she underachieves next week, it seems like you guys are dropping her.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. So Lindsay, top of B right now. Let's see. Episode 7. I mean, she beat her fear. I mean, she lost Tyler, but I mean, okay. And then episode 8, she didn't really play a big part, but it seemed like she was being like very friendly. I mean, like she just seems very friendly. Like I don't know. Like I mean, that's about it. But like, how do you guys feel about Lindsay?
I feel like with Lindsay, anyone is expendable. She's slowly but surely showcasing that. But for me, she didn't really thrive in this episode. And we talked about people that was going to move down, and I think she's one of them for me. She just really didn't. We moved her up for a reason, and she didn't showcase that she's able to be the queen bee.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think she needs to go down because I think people like her.
Yeah.
But I think that only gets you so far.
Exactly.
So how low are we talking?
At least C for sure.
Yes. Okay. So we'll put her at the beginning of C for now as we go through the rest of the people.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So Heather, quiet 2 episodes actually. First 2.
Surprisingly.
I mean, what she?
So shocked too.
Yeah, it was like the sumo thing, and then like that's it. Really, like we didn't see much from Heather.
That's what I'm saying. Is that a good thing, or is it is that slowly working towards the demise of Heather,
Right. We don't know.
I don't know. So it's hard to say if she stays B. Like, I think she definitely has been complacent. So I guess she could stay B. Because I still think she's a dynamic character in the series.
Yeah. Because if we're basing this tier list off of like total events and what we predict future events, I think she should stay a little bit higher on the tier list.
Yeah, same.
But maybe like towards the end of B, like possibly just based off the last like few episodes and stuff.
Okay. So end of B.
Just for right now.
Yeah, that's good for now.
Harold. Let's see. Quiet episodes for all right. So I mean, all right, 7. He didn't beat his ninja fair, but I mean that was all we got from Harold.
Yeah.
Episode 8, though, he threw all the canoe paddles in the fire. And honestly, if they lost, he probably would have been in some trouble. But how do you guys feel about Harold?
I don't know. I think he needs to go down. But
we have a love-hate relationship with Harold. Like, he was literally D tier, and we bumped him up because he had 2 great episodes. And in this episode, showcased if his team would have lost, we would have lost. We would have had a hard loss for me and Sav. We would have lost someone in B tier, which is our goal is to not get no one out of SAB no time soon. And I would hate for Harold to be the one that is the reason why we take a hard hit out of the SAB tier. So I think he needs to move down as well. I think Lindsay is a little more superior than him. So I think as of right now, he could go behind Lindsay until we play around with everyone else. Behind Lindsay.
Yeah, my bad.
I agree.
All right. And lastly in B tier is Duncan. He beat his Celine Dion fears. I mean, there was that. And then the other episode, I mean, he helped lift the fire with a lighter. But I mean, average 2 episodes for Duncan. I mean, him and Courtney, like we said, have been bonding a little bit as well. But I mean, nothing too big, not too cold.
For me, Duncan hasn't pissed anyone off. I think Duncan is in a great spot socially. And I think with him having Courtney in his corner will help him and Courtney. Also, I feel like, to me, I really want him, Trent, and Gwen, Courtney to link up. That foursome would make me smile. So I just want them to have, Duncan's kind of punk. So why not link up with a woman that's punk like Gwen? And Gwen got Trent. Duncan has Courtney. That foursome would just make me smile. So I feel he hasn't pissed no one off. Not too dynamic in these last 2 episodes, but he hasn't pissed no one off. What's your thoughts, Sam?
I think he belongs right where he is.
Yeah.
Like I totally agree with that. Like I think him with his like budding relationship with Courtney, I think that's really gonna help him out in the long run. Because I feel like he is more of an even killed kind of guy with his emotions. And so I think that's gonna help Courtney out, like keep herself together. And then of course she can help him with, pushing him to like, get the challenges done and to be strategic and to like push through stuff. Cause obviously she helped him with the fear challenge.
Yeah.
And that foursome would be great. Like that would be an awesome like team. Like they would kick ass if they got together for sure.
Yes.
But I agree too that he hasn't made anybody mad. Like he hasn't done anything like to get people upset with him. So I think he should stay at B.
All right. So next is in the C tier, Trent. Trent's whole persona, it seems to be him and Gwen like are really been bonding like the last like 4 episodes, honestly. I mean, he has like I guess a friendship now with Cody too, because I mean, he helped her out with her. And it seemed like Beth and Lindsay were like all over Trent this episode too. So I mean, people seem to like Trent. But what do you guys feel about Trent?
Yeah, he's another likable guy. Again, hasn't made anybody mad. He's got a good relationship with Gwen now. And I think he's in a really good spot, socially at least. I mean, he did beat his fear. So that was good. And I think he's been pretty decent at the challenges besides that. So I think he's in a good spot. So I could put him either at like high C or like even after Heather.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think he moves up to after Heather for me. Because I feel like he's not making anyone mad. Kind of in the same thought process as Duncan. And I think his relationship with Gwen is going to drag his storyline on. Yeah. So I think we're in a good space with keeping him there for now.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right. DJ. Let's see. Episode 7, he beat his fear. with the snakes. Episode 8, honestly, a big episode for DJ. I mean, you build a good friendship with Jeff. He was even putting a good word with him and Bridget. Like, he's trying to set them up, if you can't tell. Conquered his fear about swimming. Like, DJ's been putting himself out there, and people seem to like DJ.
Yeah.
But how do you guys feel about him?
He's beating like a lot of his fears. I think he's getting like better with being more comfortable with the game and willing to put himself out there. I love it.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about, I feel like DJ, he's getting comfortable with the game, but you haven't seen him make any social connections. Like, yeah, he's a fun-loving guy, but we haven't seen no like deep relationship with some of the key people, such as like Owen, Gwen's, Courtney's, Duncan's, Heather's. Like, he hasn't made no key relationship. He's kind of, to me, like almost like a filler character right now. And yes, he has great moments, but I don't see him socially embedded himself as of right now.
Yeah, he's not very strategic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So where do you guys want to put DJ?
Beginning of D set? Or are you good where he at with this episode?
I think with the last 2 episodes, I kind of want to keep him where he's at.
Okay.
But if he doesn't do anything crazy next episode, are you considering dropping him?
I mean, yeah, like he's been consistent D for us. I think he's been consistent D C. I mean, so yeah, it's just I don't know.
You're looking for that spike.
Yeah, because he needs to like.
And I'm hoping.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
Like personal wise, like his like character development definitely getting better. But yeah, the strategic and like social strategy isn't really like coming out yet.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping that his spike doesn't come in an episode that he goes home like Izzy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So DJ staying in C. Lastly, Beth. I mean, what was Beth's fear? I don't even remember. Oh, the bug. She beat. I guess she was a part of the filler montage. But I mean, she beat her thing. In this episode, I mean, she kind of got screwed over by Chris, but whatever. She grabs the idol. Or it's not even an idol. It was like a little figurine of it was curves from Bony Island. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if there's any positives, she's still a part of Heather's alliance. But how do you guys feel about Beth?
It's a cartoon show, and I feel like that idol thing will be a major detriment for Beth. Alliance or not. It's so crazy how we like digging deep into this shit. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's cool though to see you guys read edgings or whatever.
So it's like, bruh, like, what will it be? Will it be a triumphant 2 episodes, or will it be her demise in the very next? Because the episode ends with them panning into the tiki torch and then like eyes lighting up. So it's like the demise of this tiki torch isn't coming soon. Yeah, so I'm thinking, just for safekeeping, do we put her at the beginning of the D, just so if we do get a shot, we get a shot out of D tier and not another shot out of C tier.
Agreed.
Let's just try to save face. All right. Is she top of D?
She could stay there. We'll give her that one. We'll give her that.
So let's see. Let's get to the D tiers. I mean, there's not much to say about a lot of these for you guys, but I mean, let's see. So Bridget. Let's see. Bridget is. It seems like she's having a growing friendship with Courtney. Yeah. It seems like her and Jeff are starting to develop something. And it seems that people like Bridget. So, I mean, there's that. But how do you guys feel about Bridget?
I'm kind of like about her. Like, I feel like she definitely had more the last few episodes than these 2. Like, because she didn't conquer her fear. And yes, I think her social relationships are important because, like you said, she's starting to become friends with Courtney now, and she already had the thing with Jeff like starting to happen. So I think that's going to help her. But at the same time, like, I feel like it's been kind of, I don't know. She's just kind of there. I don't know.
Yeah. She's getting lost in the sauce. Like, it's almost time for merge, and if it's a merge. And if they're going to get rid of people, it's going to be people's like the Jeffs, the Sadies. Yeah. So, I mean, she's there.
She's there.
All right. Are we keeping her there?
I mean, I think she's going to move a bit after we do some of these other people. Okay. But she could stay there for now.
All right. Lashana. Let's see. I mean, I don't really remember what she did the first episode. The second one, no. It's like, I mean, she
did push the vote for
yeah. She was pushing the vote for Izzy. I mean,
true.
so that's something.
Honestly, I just say she stay in D tier and move her above Bridget.
Okay.
And then
because she influenced the vote, which is like
something a little bit. And she had some dynamic beginning. Like she became a character in the first couple episodes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Composed a bit compared to Bridget.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sadie.
Disappointed. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I thought it was gonna be her breakout episode. Besides her crying after Katie's gone, I thought this was about to be her breakout episodes. We're about to see a new woman, new girl. Let me get.
You haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen nothing, and I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was ready for it too because we were both talking about that for episodes. We were like, I can't wait for them to be broken up.
Yes.
Be their own person, and nope, she literally has done nothing. So I'm gonna keep her right where she's at.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff with a G. Let's see.
Last.
Because
Cody's about to move up for me.
So, okay.
Jeff is last. We don't even have to talk about Jeff with a G. He is definitely someone who needs to go home in these next 2 episodes. Please.
He is just so clueless. Like he's pining after Bridget, which okay, cool, but like he doesn't know he's doing it very poorly. Like it's a miracle that Bridget actually likes him back.
It's just I'm not connecting with him. I need to connect to a character.
It seems like all he's really focusing on is Bridget, like, and not even about like game at all. Because like everybody else who's in like a little like showmance is still like at least wanting to play the game.
If any showmance is the lowest tier of showmance, is definitely Jeff and Bridget.
It is. Agreed.
Oh boy, Jeff with a G. Okay, and then lastly, it's Cody. Now, episode 7 didn't do much, but episode 8. Well, I mean, he messed up with the bomb.
He did a lot. He helped him out the quicksand.
Oh no, I said the first one, 7, when he messed up with the bomb. But episode 8, he built a relationship with Gwen and Trent, and then helped with, like you said, the quicksand. He helped Lindsay and all these people stuff. Cody, the big episode by Cody. He even impressed Owen with the bra. So big episode by Cody, edging-wise, I guess. Like he went from completely non-existent to like he has a presence now.
Because we talked so much shit about him. We had people talking to us on social media about like how they stand Cody and how they're disappointed that we got him so far at the bottom. Hey, he had to show and prove to us. We're first watchers, so we don't have no kinship to any of these people. And Cody didn't show it to us now, but I say I'll even give him a seat in front of Lindsay if that's okay with Sab.
I'm down with that. I think he had a great few episodes, and I think all of his social relationships, they have the ability to propel him forward. Like if he keeps it up, I think that can really help him.
He might be that dark horse that we might be surprised to see. Yeah,
he really could be.
So look who we're looking at. Who we want to go home in the next episodes is either Beth, Lashana, Bridget, Sadie, or Jeff. And out of Chef and Chris, still Chef is number 1.
Chef's the best.
Chris is messy though. That's one.
Yeah,
Chris is messy.
Oh my gosh, like he just doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't. He's like, I'm gonna bury them in hail.
Really? Like, oh my god.
All right. So it looks like your superior is Owen and Gwen now. Gwen is the fourth person ever to be put in superior, other than Heather and Courtney.
Heather, Courtney, Owen,
yeah, and Gwen now joins that club.
And where's Heather right now? Oh, she's in B.
She is B because she got 2 non-existent episodes. Yeah. So interesting. All right, so lastly, we have to do the draft update.
Where's the draft? No.
Let's see. So Tyler Lance loses another player.
Damn.
And then Sab loses Izzy, which is one of her mid-tier picks.
And then I got Beth and Bridget and Sadie.
According to your rankings.
My team is a mess according to my rankings.
Okay, but hold up though. You have Courtney, Owen, and Heather.
Okay, but you have Gwen and Duncan, who I see, and Trent, who I could easily see winning this game, even Harold. My team is shit compared to your team. Who has Cody?
I don't know about that.
No one has Cody.
Cody went undrafted.
Yeah, he went undrafted. So can I get him since I have less people?
If Sabrina is okay with it, let's do it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. He's undrafted.
That works.
That's not.
All right. How many D tiers? So let's see. You have 1, 2, 3 D tiers.
And got
one
B
tier, and then
A and an S.
Okay, and then she has 1, 2 B tiers.
2 D tiers.
No, 2 D tiers.
2 D tiers.
1,
2 C tier. No, 3 C tiers, right? Because you moved Trent up.
And
hold up, Lindsay, Trent, Harold, Lindsay, Trent.
Oh, Trent is a B.
So Trent's the B.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Duncan and Gwen. Okay, so I mean, right now Sabrina is looking like she's on this draft right now.
We'll see. Yo, can y'all believe that we've been doing this for 4 weeks now? This is week number 4 for us.
This is crazy.
Oh no, yeah.
Shout out to us, man.
As of right now, let's get an update on your individual personal favorites. Who are your personal 3 favorite characters each?
Mine right now are Owen, of course. Owen finds something in every episode to make me smile. Next, I will say Cody. Cody is definitely shine bright like a diamond this episode for me.
Wow.
Personal favorites. This is not rankings. This is favorites. Not saying like he's about to win the game.
Yeah.
And then third would have to be Courtney. Like I feel something still in her, man. And I'm just looking out for her. I think she still got it deep down inside. So Cody, Owen, and Courtney for me.
How about you, Selena?
Definitely Owen, because he's hilarious and I love him. And he just brings the humor to every episode and it's refreshing. Gwen, she's always been one of my favorites. I just love her since the beginning. I just feel like she's the most relatable, like in my personal opinion. And then the last one, I'm kind of torn between Courtney and DJ. I don't know. I just love DJ's like soft spirit. I love it. It makes me like smile.
Yeah.
Courtney's a fighter. Courtney is like in it to win it, and like I love that like fight in her. So love that.
Yeah, DJ is definitely up there too. Like I keep forgetting soft marshmallow muscles, but he's so like sweet, so sweet.
He's so sweet. He's so cute. I love him.
Now, lastly, before we get ready to close out, I just will say shout out Esme. Esme drew our avatar, Yay! So I will post them on the screen.
Esme, why you made me so thick, girl? Look at those thighs. But baby, I love the chain. Esme, I would say I love the chain. Yes. I love how you accented that jacket from my picture and my leopard shirt. I love the hat. Esme, look, I'm gonna give you 2 snaps.
It was so
Shout
good.
out Esme.
Like whenever Isaiah like said it to us, I was like shrieking. I was like, "This is so cute!"
The heart. And she put like silent podcast logos everywhere too. So real quick, follow Esme. That's the @ right there. If you don't
put the pictures up there one more time so everyone can see that.
Real quick, Commission Esme.
Look at those logos, baby.
Yes.
I love that.
There's actually a logo too in my shoes, which is hard to see. But there's one in my shoes, and then on my.
Yeah, I'll move the thing real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably can't see. I'll send you guys all the avatars and stuff after this.
Yeah.
Look at Isaiah, A-ball. Oh.
It's dope though. But okay. So yeah, that's our review for these episodes. So let's just do our applause real quick. So Sabrina, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Sabreezy2492. Pretty simple. That's me. Cool. Follow me. Thanks.
And then how about you, Lance?
All right, y'all can follow me at I am King Lance on Instagram as well as Twitter. Also, make sure you guys watch and look out for Black Boys Watch. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, as well as Twitter. Black Boys Watch. That's BlackBoysWatch. Yes, and we've been covering Big Brother Can. So most days that we stream have been Wednesdays right after the episode, and Thursdays for a late night after party where we cover the recap of the eviction, followed by other hot topics and a little bit of dip into our lives. So, it's a partner of, me and some great guys, and we appreciate all the support, and y'all continue to watch Silent Podcast as well as take a look at Black Boys Watch because we got some great things coming.
Yeah. Literally, Black Boys Watch is like 5 of like my favorite people. So
it's
like,
a great podcast.
The best. Like,
thank y'all.
And last, you can just follow me at 8Ball Bangers like usual. Busy week for me specifically. Busy week. I've been interviewing so many people. I'm only like halfway done, but I did find a couple people and I'm getting a team together still, but I did find a host and stuff. So Big Brother Canada coverage over here will be starting this Friday, I believe. Yeah. And then we're going to be having 2 segments, one show covering the entire week on Fridays, and then a fun little laid back show on Tuesday. So check out the social media and everything to keep updates on that. We still got challenge stuff that's going to be coming up soon, and drag race and all this other stuff. So, just look out, but you can see us back here, or us specifically back here next Monday to talk about episodes 9 and 10. But for the podcast, you can see me with Josh and Noah on Wednesday, I believe, to talk about what are we talking about this week? We're talking about My Hero Academia. That's right. So My Hero for the anime podcast, and then back with me, Geneva, Abby, and Sasha also Wednesday to talk about Temptation Island.
Love that show now.
It's so good. But all right, until next time, we will see you guys later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Peace.